Kicked off my second day in Dubrovnik with some gratitude journaling. That was my balcony and the view. Got some coffee, so obviously so much to be grateful for. I've racked up hundreds of thousands of steps at this point on this trip, so I decided to lounge, get some food. Looks like resting bitch face, but I was happy. Later in the morning, I set off to Lokrum Island, which is now a nature preserve, but used to be a monastery many, many years ago. It's got a lot of cute swimming areas and gorgeous views and peacocks, like so many peacocks. This is the botanical gardens, very serene, and more peacocks. Some Archduke brought peacocks to the island, and because they can't fly, they just took over. After I left the island, I went kayaking, found this cave over the island, and the swifts just make it that much more dramatic. All I know about this building is that Jay-Z and Beyonce stayed there once. This is another cave/swimming area, and took some time to check out the water because there are a ton of fish who love sandwiches. This was my point of view, seeing all the fishies, and this was theirs. And here's the cute sunset later on in the evening and even later on. Capped off the evening with more fireworks. A shout out to Dubrovnik for doing the show just for me. Woke up early the next morning to get a hike and this view in before leaving my hotel and this cat to go off to my next location. Okay, here I am at my third stop on my solo European vacation here in Croatia. Probably the best advice I ever got from a stranger was to go to Dubrovnik, and it did not disappoint. This is probably my favorite place I've ever been in my life, seriously. From the architecture, I mean, look at the handrails, the actual handrails. There's so many stray cats, but don't worry, they are all well fed, and it is just so lovely. Everything is on the water. There's so much seafood to eat. There are so many water activities to do. And yes, if you were asking, no, that is a wedding, but this is also where they filmed a lot of Game of Thrones. So if you recognize a lot of these alleyways or that cat, it was probably in the show. I could walk around Old Town forever. This is the old clock tower. Lots of swifts. Those birds just flying in the sky everywhere. Very dramatic, very theatrical. This is the city walls, which I walked around. It's a little over a mile all the way around the city and gives you the best views. I recommend doing this a couple hours before sunset because the vibes are immaculate. Walked around, it was a little toasty, might have sweat through some clothes, but the views definitely worth it. Just like the cats, the birds are not afraid of anyone. So yeah, like I mentioned, city walls give you this gorgeous panoramic view of all of Old Town. The walls were actually meant to defend the city from oncoming intruders. I didn't realize until I went to Dubrovnik that they had a war in the early 90s. A lot of Old Town was destroyed, but they have since then rebuilt. Here's some pretty music, I'll let you listen. Okay, so I stumbled across a sushi restaurant. I know, sushi in Croatia. Hear me out. This is the freshest fish I've ever had in my life. The owner goes out on his boat and catches it every day. And I got an Aperol Spritz the size of my head. Made it to my next stop on my solo European vacation. For those of you who guessed it right, I am in Prague. Super cute, also lots of competing loud music. Here is the astronomical clock. Every hour, lots of people gather to watch the little puppet show. After that, I went to Cafe Savoy to get some French toast, and whatever this croissant is, my waitress recommended it, but it has salmon and figs. And if you guessed, it is not my favorite. But this French toast is bomb. Life-changing, I swear. Now I am walking up the steps. This is to go to Petrin Tower, which means climbing even more steps. At this point, my legs are toast, but definitely worth the view. Look at that. Okay, here's a whole wedding about to happen, and this is Lennon Wall, which of course has graffiti and this mural of John Lennon in the center. They also had an installation of poems for the people of Ukraine. Walked a little further and made it to Prague Castle. This is St. Vitus Cathedral, which is just as stunning on the inside as it is on the outside. And inside the castle are the actual crown jewels. This is Golden Lane. These homes are basically the size of a Little Tikes playhouse. So small. Okay, not trying to kink shame Prague, but what? Half the tour was showing us how they tortured people here. Need something more wholesome. Perfect. Had to stop and get one of these cinnamon cone things that they fill with fresh fruit and ice cream. And I realized this is what I look like in the back of every tourist photo. Took my super photogenic self across the Charles Bridge. And that wraps up my trip to Prague. Guess which city I'm heading to in the comments. And Prague, can we talk about how difficult it is to roll a suitcase down these streets? Solo trip to Vienna day 2. Had to start it off with some coffee and fresh baked pastries. Then I went to Prater Park, which happens to be one of my grandpa's favorite places from when he was a kid. There's the giant Ferris wheel, gratitude journaling again, and people watching. This pigeon also wanted to fight. After that, I found the street that my grandpa grew up on. He lived here until he was 11. Then went to the Modern store. If you know, you know. This Uber was an absolute rave, and then my driver yelled at me in German and gave me a piece of candy. So yes, I took candy from a stranger. Don't worry, I survived and looking cute. Here's my outfit for the day. Pose, pose, pose. Definitely a hair wash day. Made it inside to see some paintings. Of course, had to stop by The Kiss by Klimt. My goal was to have gelato every day that I'm in Europe, and so far it has been a success, or not a success. Made it to Schönbrunn Palace. Yeah. If you're a history nerd like me, this tour is insane. But you can't take photos inside, so here's the fountain. Also on the palace property are many, many, many stunning gardens along with these mazes. Definitely giving Triwizard Tourney vibes. Should we do a moment of silence for Cedric Diggory? Hopped the train to my next location and thought I ordered a glass of wine, but they brought the whole bottle. Language barriers can be fun. Also got more Modder because you can never have enough. Let me know your best guess for where I'm heading to next, and of course, stay tuned. Took a solo trip to Vienna, and here's how it went. I'm thinking I should really be a travel guide because how cute is this hotel? I mean, come on. My flight got in pretty early, so I needed to walk off the jet lag. Saw some pretty buildings and more buildings. Took a minute to do my gratitude journal. Everyone here just kind of chills in the parks, and I love it as much as they love Mozart. I knew there was going to be a lot of walking, so I fueled up for the day with coffee and a smoothie. And we're off. This is one of the main plazas in the city. I'm going to butcher the name if I try to say it. Michaelerplatz? Forget I tried. Music break. Austria is famous for their schnitzel, and this place came highly recommended. Wiener Schnitzel's made out of veal, but I just couldn't do that. Got the vegetarian version. Yum. Walked around St. Stephen's Cathedral. There are some really cute shops around here like this. Went to Cafe Central because pastries. Got the Apfelstrudel. Apfelstrudel. That is why this is the last stop on my solo European vacation, and I'm holding in tears here in Taormina, Sicily. Now, there's no good way for this vacation to end because I honestly want it to last forever, but since it can't, we are going to end on the best note possible, and that note is Sicily. Everything here is cute, from the cute stairs to the cute mosaics to the cute fountains, cute balconies, cute theaters, cute fashion, what? Anyways, here's an actual erupting volcano. Stumbled across this place and Roberto himself. They have the best fresh pastries. I don't even know what this is, but it was delicious. This was a life-changing cannoli. Then I went to Isola Bella. I stuck my feet in the water. Wasn't wearing proper shoes, but did it anyways. And then walked up a million stairs to get to the very top of Taormina. My legs have detached from my body at this point in vacation, but it's It's all worth it for this view. There is Mount Etna again, the volcano, and more gorgeous views from one of the town squares. Taormina's on the water, so they also have fresh fish and cute doggos. If someone threw a cannoli like that, I would do the same. Anyways, I walked around a little bit more to find some pizza because you can't be in Italy without having pizza. And I got an aranci, I think is how it's pronounced. Fried rice ball of deliciousness. They put pistachio in everything in Sicily, which is a vibe, along with these dogs barking at everyone, also a vibe. Ended up walking to my new best friend Giuseppe's recommendation of gelato place. Got 2 very large scoops to make me feel less sad about this vacation being over.